My name's Chief Warrant Officer 3 Kyle Davidson. I've been in the military for about 15 years. I did have a break in service. I joined in 1990 and came back in 07 and deployed to Iraq as a pilot for the 137th Aviation Regiment. As a young person, I have role models in my family, a grandfather, two grandfathers that were in World War II, then a father who was in Vietnam. So that was passed on to me as far as something that's important. I like civil service. I'm I enjoy non-profit organizations and civil service. Also wanted to be a pilot, and that's probably one of the highest priorities I had as a young kid. I wanted to fly, and that was one avenue for me was joining the United States Army and flying helicopters. I tend to run on both sides of the fence. Sometimes it's a dilemma for me as far as figuring out where I fit and if I fit in the military. By the same token, sometimes it's hard for me to figure out whether or not I fit and how I fit in the LGBT community as well. Like I say, I do straddle both lines. What I would say to my LGBT community friends is the same thing that I tell my military friends, which is it's about exposing ourselves to new types of people, and so that we can grow together and become better and more cohesive as a larger community for our military personnel and our LGBT community. The repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell for me was a very large win for me and my family. We, as an early soldier back in the 90s, I was there under, prior to Don't Ask, Don't Tell being put in place, and then actually later was released with some relation to the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and ended up back in 07, still under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and so I had to be quiet. It sets up this an integrity contradiction. The military is all about loyalty and integrity, yet they put the Don't Ask, Don't Tell in place and forced myself and fellow LGBT soldiers to basically lie about our lives, and creates a very uncomfortable situation. So when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed, it was a huge burden lifted off my shoulder, and allowed my family to finally be able to partake in that part of my life. So up to that point, I had two lives, and neither of which really were allowed to talk to each other. After that, they were, and my husband at the time became our family readiness leader for my unit, did very good things, and since then we've exposed my military friends to a different culture, and I've been able to in turn expose my LGBT culture to some military people as well. So it's been growth on both sides, and it's definitely a two-way street. My advice to LGBT soldiers, and hopefully in the future LGBT soldiers that may enter in the future, my advice to them would be to be positive about the changes that are taking place, and also trust your leadership and trust your soldiers, trust the military. The military has a very long tradition of loyalty and integrity, and a lot of good characteristics to aspire to. They don't always meet those, but they work very hard to do it. So trust them, and over time I think you'll find that you'll have a very fulfilling career with the military.